Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Molo, Songololo, anything, any language, anywhere in the world. We welcome you to episode 75 of 343. And it's the reaction of the Euro 2024 finals that we will be talking about today. Once again, joined by my trusted sidekick, not actually sidekick, we are equals over here. Jason and Nikita. Jason, how you doing, buddy?
All good, man. All good. The Euros are finally done. The Copas are done. Let's get on to me watching a preseason friendly at 4 a.m. in the morning. Take us to the US and watch all the football there. But it's been good. Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good.
Back.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Nikita, how are you on this rather warm Cape Town day?
There was actual sun today. That was quite a nice change. I'm well. I'm exhausted actually. After this weekend, Springboks, rugby full day Saturday, and with some Wimbledon in between. Wimbledon yesterday, exceptional final. It's always exceptional when Djokovic loses, and and then exciting football in the evening. Jeez,
Yeah,
it really was a good game.
It wasn't just a Djokovic loss though. That was like he got demolished by Alcaraz.
He's also
It was
37
one-way
years
traffic.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really was. He really was demolished. It was wonderful to see. I haven't seen that type of Djokovic demolishment since before he gave up gluten. If I'm honest. So it was great to watch. I'm sad at the end of the 2 weeks. It's two of my favorite weeks of the year. But yeah, great outcome, great results in the ladies' draw as well. So fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was really a great weekend of sports. But yeah, we are here today to speak about the Euro 2024 final. And yeah, it was from a Spanish fan point of view. I'm extremely happy. I'm chuffed and love the result. And just the fact that they beat England in the final just makes it even more sweeter. But yeah, Jason, from your point of view, how did you find the final? Were there any moments that might have stood out to you more than others?
The moment last week when you said England's going to win, that really. And now you're claiming so happy, you know. It was. Talk to me. You were like reverse psychology last week.
Nah, when they equalized in what was it, the 74th minute or 73rd minute, I'm like, nah, this can't be happening again. It really just went. Yeah. But yeah, like carry on.
Yeah, no. It was. I think it was a good final, and I think it's because Spain was in it. I don't think. England didn't play the best football. They lucked their way into the final, which is fine because tournament football doesn't need to be good football. It's unfortunate for the fan to watch, and it's a team filled with stars, but they just couldn't click and they just couldn't gel. And Spain, I think they restored our faith, right? There was a lot of good footballs, a lot of good attractive football. And on a day where Messi wins the Copa and you have Lamine Yamal winning the Euros, it's like, okay, we have something to believe again in football. But yeah, there was doubts once Rodri went off at halftime. I think England might have thought that they had a chance because Rodri's been very good this season and in the tournament as well. And then, Spain scored within the first minute, which was like ridiculous. Exposing the guy that supposedly can defend, but he couldn't defend in this tournament. It was great. And again, a lovely showing for those two wingers. We had spoken about where that battle will be won, and it came from that side. So, it was a liquor final. I think a little bit cagey once England started to put a bit of ball together, but happy that Spain won it, actually.
Yeah, that I agree. Nikita. from your
You know,
side?
I
I
think
know you haven't really been watching much of the Euros, but you fell in line
no.
with the end of the tournament.
Yeah, I think like the Euro is just seemingly I found international tournaments, if I'm honest, like really difficult to watch if I don't have like a cat in the fight or something. But which is never, because Bafana doesn't qualify for anything much. But yeah, it was a really good final, and there was no point where I was like, I'm bored, or this game is
Yeah,
dragging. I think the first half was very exciting. I think Spain had so many opportunities to score in the first half, and then to like kind of kill the match dead in the second. So a bit disappointing. I think they would. I mean, they don't care right now, but I think if they reflect on it, a bit disappointed that they let themselves get that far down the line with that England team, because I don't think they're a team. They're a whole lot of superstars, that just don't mix. And geez, if I could just see the light and actually get a proper coach in there, that's going to play the best grassroots players who are in form, play a system that makes sense, then I think that team could be phenomenal. They could win a World Cup, but as it is, the Spanish sports gods came to the
Mm.
party, saved us all yesterday, and the best team of the tournament won. But I mean, the only other comment that I'll make on this tournament is that this format doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
as much as you say, Jason, like that,
Mm.
England, that you don't need, sometimes you need luck to get through. I mean, it's
Yeah.
shocking that a team like, Germany, didn't have opportunity to make it through.
Yeah.
I think, shame, I wish we could have seen more of Austria. I think they looked decent
Mm.
I actually watched all of their
Switzerland.
games, funnily enough. No, Austria.
Switzerland as well. Yeah. No,
And
I
but
I
Switzerland
I,
too. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Switzerland too.
love
Yeah.
the way Switzerland played in this tournament.
Yeah, I just like those smaller nations looked more like teams, and
Yeah,
makes sense, right? Like, they kind of all come from the same country and they know what the playing style is and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I just think the format just allows for a rogue team like kind of England to get through, because, they're just on the other side of the draw. But as we know, UEFA will not learn from this. They will probably create a super league,
double down
UEFA,
and just yep,
double down and just be like, actually,
this
we
will
need
actually
64
worse.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we need the tournament to be 2 months long. And they're going to play it at the same time that the Premier League is concluding. And then we're going to just break for a week to play the Champions League final. And then we come back. It's going to be something nuts. These guys are insane.
yeah,
It's all about the money. But yeah, lekker end. Great match, actually.
yeah. I was actually this morning. I saw that they were considering giving Southgate an extension, a contract extension.
2 years.
Like what? What is up with that?
Where
I
does 2
mean,
years
He
take
made
you?
two
For World Cup?
finals. He made two finals.
he
Back.
bottled two
No,
finals.
semi.
I think you're pronouncing it wrong. He
Yeah.
bottled two finals. So, I
Gareth
But
I'm
Southgate.
I'm just like no, like I
mm,
don't agree with it. The fact that this dude kept
Mm.
on starting Harry Kane, he kept on playing Phil Foden. Where after the second game, it was obvious that he wasn't working in the system.
yeah.
And Cole Palmer, who I think got his first minutes in the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think all three
Really?
good group games he didn't
Mm.
he didn't play. And then he got his first minutes in the round of 16. And he every single time he's come off the bench, he's been one of the probably the best player.
100%.
Kobe Mainu as well. He only started coming into it. I think it was halftime in the third group game. Um, so yeah, I mean, how are they giving this guy an extra 2-year contract? Do they
I
want
mean,
him to waste more talent?
I know they got through in the semi because of Ollie Watkins, but on what basis in the tournament did he? How did he justify that substitution? Surely it should have been Tony, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
But like, and again, I'm just like, last night I'm sitting there when they equalized, and I'm thinking, oh my word, is this guy like legitimately gonna win it by pure luck? And people are gonna herald him as like some sort of super genius or whatever. And I'm
yeah.
just like, we cannot let this happen. World, send all the
And
juju to Spain.
And I mean, Ollie Watkins had that chance right at the end, eh? I think it was like a
Yeah,
minute left, and
Yeah.
Jude sent that ball through, and
straight
he
pass,
controlled
yeah.
it quite well. But Laporte, like being the amazing defender that he was, like he defended that so
Yeah.
well. And I think any other defender would have allowed Ollie Watkins to continue his trajectory forward. So I don't know, like it was definitely the football gods smiling and uh, just like throwing the amazing juju to ensure that Spain wins and England doesn't. But yeah, I think if he had to get away with that right at the end, like
Oh,
nah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would have given
I,
up on life, I think. Yeah, I think I was just like, I'm out of sports forever.
I would have
What do
said
you?
well because it would have been extra time and penalties, and then you must wake up for work early, and it's like, yo, bro, I was so happy. Like I was more happy with the fact that okay, 11 o'clock it's done. I'm gonna go to
yeah,
bed now.
I'm
More
out.
than
I'm out.
yeah, because all these games and it all involves England, right? They setting up. Okay, maybe the semi final. They obviously won it very late, but it was set up, and I think um, if they hadn't scored that goal, he was ready to bring on Kieran Trippier and somebody else to just go defensive and luck his way into a penalty because he's confident
Mm,
there. Um,
mm.
yeah.
yeah, which is
Yeah, no,
weird
no.
because Pickford is the guy, and yeah, that was a bit.
I don't understand how Pickford just like transforms into Gigi Buffon and Iker
Yeah,
Casillas and
yeah.
all of these
All of them
amazing goalkeepers just like
just gets
fused
respawned into the
into
mess.
one
Yeah,
person,
Mm,
and that person is Jordan Pickford at any international tournament. It's
mm,
crazy. And then
mm.
he just like regresses back to the weakest keeper when he goes back to Everton. Like that should be investigated.
Yeah. Can I
Um,
just say that it's like bizarre for me that like how well, and I think this is a commendation for Southgate, so please hold on to your chairs. How well England actually defended in this tournament,
yeah,
considering he changed his core kind of defensive midfield and centre back pairing like
yeah,
right before the tournament. I mean, we all expected Maguire and Hendo to go. Um, and I must say that they really were exceptional at defending this tournament.
Mark
Like
Hay,
any other,
yeah,
yeah, Gay, like what
amazing,
the hell? He should be on
amazing.
everyone's lips. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? You should not be in some random South London stadium playing week in week out. You know, he looks really really great. So Gareth, that's for you, and that is the last positive feedback that will come out of my mouth for you.
I think a lot of these players also put themselves in shop windows for the rest
Mm,
of the transfer window. I think
mm,
there will be clubs looking at Mark AE now.
yeah.
They
Even
they probably will.
even Kobe Minor, Kobe could get a move to a big team as well. Um, that's also something for him. Kudos to him to actually put
mm,
his name out
mm,
there, possibly
mm.
make a move
Fair,
where he can really
valid point.
realize his talent there, AF, isn't it? Anyway,
As I
Yeah.
was
as you were
saying, um, yeah, no, but like Kobe did have a good tournament though. So
saying,
yeah, we
Mm,
need to tie that guy down. Make sure
yeah,
that nobody
mm.
comes knocking.
Yeah, give him
But
a
another
Chelsea
guy like
contract.
you,
yo,
8 years.
bro,
what
yeah,
like a 9 year contract or something.
Yeah.
Another guy like you spoke about earlier about Rodri coming off at halftime, but Martin
Mm,
Zubimendi came on at
yeah,
halftime, and I don't think anybody's really given him the 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 kudos for like I mean Rodri shoes are that's like a pair of shoes that or boots that I don't ever want to step into because
yeah,
he's so damn good at what he does. And Zubimendi came on and he just did it like it wasn't he was so unfazed. And
yeah,
I think the fact that he came on and the England players were probably so happy about the fact that Rodri was going off and they might have let their guard down and that
mm,
within that first minute of the half starting, you could see that England looked like they were sleeping. Like
yeah,
they just like didn't react to that at all. And I think that's exactly the type of impact that Subimendi had. He just came in and he made sure that Spain kept on ticking the way
Yeah.
the way they were when Rodri was on, and he just looked completely unfazed, and he's had such a mature performance. I think the dude is like 25 years old, so he's
Yeah.
he's at a good age, and I think he's somebody that the clubs might come knocking for. Just watch like tomorrow, like Pep Guardiola wants to sign him as a backup to Rodri or something at
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Look,
Probably
I
most
mean,
For
likely.
Arsenal
50
were
million.
linked to him. Yeah, Arsenal were linked, and it was something like 50, and he was only 25. It was unproven, but
Yeah,
it's a testament to the system that Spain have employed. Because even losing
yeah,
Pedri, who's been probably one of the better players over the last few years,
Mm.
having a guy like Olmo come in, and I mean, if you've watched football, you obviously heard of him, but he hasn't really hit the strides that people thought he was
yeah,
going to hit when he
Yeah.
left Barca and he was doing well at like junior levels. And then you just see this guy coming in, and he is actually one of the key players for them once Pedri got injured. I mean, he got some
yeah.
key goals, quarterfinal, semis, and stuff like that. And then, yeah, just, I mean, I don't want to speak about the Chelsea player, but I mean, Cucurella did well. And
Yeah.
at Chelsea, he looked absolutely garbage. But in a system that sort of, I think it minimized where he was exposed at Chelsea. And that
Yeah.
speaks to a good setup. So yeah, it's an overall thing, and I think guys often don't appreciate the fact that when you pull out somebody like Rodri, you have somebody like Supermendi coming in. When you pull out Pedri, you have where England had the sort of like for like qualities maybe, but the system is completely flawed. Maybe they
Phil
work too
Foden.
well defensively. Everybody knows how to defend, but nobody knows how to actually attack. And yeah, that's
Oh, but like, and I know obviously I advocate for Trent, but like Kyle Walker was shocking. He was at fault for both goals yesterday, right?
Yeah.
But surely when you go 2 goals down, you should have rung in the changes. You have 5 subs. Okay, at 3 at that point, but I mean still. Like, what are you doing, Gareth? Like nothing. But can I have a quick pivot and ask Rodri for the Ballon d'Or? Surely.
no. Surely football's gone.
Surely.
I saw Carval's name being like thrown around as
Oh,
well.
come on.
Like
I can't vote.
quite
I would
quite
never
a
vote
lot.
for anyone who wears 3/4 sleeves. Get out of here. I'm sorry. Not
You
interested.
know, the last time we had a defender,
Nonsense. Yeah. Eh?
I think that was Cannavaro, right? The last defender
Yeah.
that won Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
That was
I
And
mean,
2006.
I mean, if we're really honest, Virgil should have won it. Yeah, Virgil should definitely. He
Yeah.
came like so close to Messi as well. It's like ridiculous. Like, did Messi even win a trophy that year? I don't know. Can't remember. But
Probably not.
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, to your point. But I mean, he's not a defender. He's a midfielder. So maybe
But
that'll help.
also, I think that's changed from what we saw, and I think Ronaldo and Messi ruined it in that they've set this bar so high that when we look at it. But I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, if Rodri wins it, right, then you're almost spitting in the face of a guy like Busquets, who is better than Rodri, I think. Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
is
100%.
Hands
100%
down.
better, right? Then you like, I'd go with, okay, I don't know if Carvalho can even win it because that's also a silly thing. But who's the next best? Like Jude, because Jude's
Probably
also
Vinicius.
No, I think
as
it's
well.
Vinicius Jr.
Yeah.
I think
But-
he had a better season than Jude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in saying that, his total number of goals are like 23 or maybe 24, something like that, which is
Yeah.
that's
But the thing
on
is,
a bad season in the Prem.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, but you're also comparing it in the year, Jason. Like
Yeah.
you can't say we can't say Busquets is better than Rodri because it was in his day. Whereas like
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now, I think Rodri is
But-
the best midfielder on the planet. Like that's my
no,
thoughts.
for sure. And I'm just gonna go back to Jason's point about Messi and Ronaldo, and I think we need to slowly start detaching ourselves from awarding Ballon d'Or awards to people with those types of stats, because we won't see that again. Like
Yeah.
there's no chance we're
Not
going to be
consistently.
seeing
Yeah.
like 50, 60 goals scored year in, year out. Like maybe Haaland will end up doing that consistently.
Where?
But yeah.
At Real Madrid, I'm assuming. Because like
But
you
yeah,
can't do it in the
like,
Prem, I don't think.
we need to just like divorce our thoughts from like players like that. and start looking at the players that are going to make teams stick, that are going to be pivotal to their team's success. And like you mentioned, Rodri, he is the he won the Premier League, he won the Euros. He's probably we still have another half a year or uh, 5 months until the Ballon d'Or is going to be awarded. So he like he still has something else to prove before that ceremony takes place. But yeah, I just think like it's a change of mindset for everybody because Messi and Ronaldo, they were like literally once in a lifetime, once in a generation type players, and we won't see
Absolutely.
those types of players again.
Yeah, but then they almost have to, yeah, they have to rework the criteria of how it's awarded then.
Yeah,
Mm,
Because also if you are going to go on a guy that's performed consistently, then why not, like, you look at, maybe, I think there was a discussion about, maybe, I think, Lautaro Martinez. So he's won
mm,
the Serie A. He was the top goal scorer there. He took Inter, I suppose, relatively far. Won the Copa. He was the top scorer there.
mm,
So then it's like, then you really need to, and it's not. I think it's more popularity now. So it's just whatever the public discourse is, then it's just going to go that way.
mm.
That's how it's going to be.
yeah,
No,
So
I also like the leagues are like also ranked in, and
yeah,
let's be honest, you are considered inferior if you play for
yeah,
a South American national team, right? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like, okay, cool, it's cool. Messi won the Copa America and the World Cup, but like, you know, it would have been such a much bigger deal. And I suppose that's also the media we follow, right? If like Germany
yeah,
or Spain, or
yeah.
yeah,
imagine England had won it, we would never hear the end of it. It's
So,
like if Arsenal won the Premier League.
phew, England would have, or they would have most likely won the Euros, the AFCON, everything else. It's going to be secure, guys. Next season. Yeah, damn it. Okay, not now.
Okay, I think
No.
we are going to just move on quickly and swiftly to just a quick question for both of you guys. Nikita, I'll
Mm.
start with you. But do you have a standout performer for the Euros?
Yes, I mean, well, obviously, I think Rodri aside, Yamal aside, I personally think that Cody Gakpo had a phenomenal Euros performance in what is, let's be honest, quite an underwhelming Dutch team. And I think they got very far, and I think they were very unfortunate not to get through to the final. So for me, Cody, Jesus, I watched that, and obviously I'm biased because I'm a Liverpool player, but I looked at
You
that and I
are?
was like, yeah, yeah. But I looked at that and it was like the first, like, obviously we all criticize our managers, but I was like, yo, how did Jurgen Klopp and his like management staff like ever play Cody through the middle? Like,
Yeah.
he has to
Yeah.
play on the left wing. That for me was just like, wow, shocking, in your face. Um, yeah, so that was kind of my key takeout in terms of really top performers during the tournament.
Yeah. Jason?
Yeah, just quickly on Nikita's point, I think that's probably the best audition for this new manager, right? To show that his strength
Mm.
lies in that position. And okay, he was trying to accommodate Luis Diaz and all those things, but maybe you should have given him a run of 4 to 5 games, and you'd have seen this sort of player. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, Rodri, Lamine, all of them aside, I'm gonna stick with Olmo just because I think, besides
Mm.
the fact that he didn't score as many goals, maybe, I mean, he had some clutch moments. It was the assist and the goal in that game against Germany. I think he was very innovative. Innovative, that's the word. Yeah, he was
Mm.
very creative. He kept Spain ticking over
Yeah.
in a time where Morata was just occupying space. I think maybe that worked. Uh, maybe that worked out best for him. That everybody was worried about Morata's mistouches and miscontrols. That Olmo could actually just operate in those little pockets, and he was
Yeah.
quite a handful yesterday. I think after the first goal went in, there was a chance where he got, like, literally a few minutes after,
Yeah.
and that could have been 2-0. That could have also been an anytime scorer for me, which would have been a good payout. But that's not what we're talking about now, is it? Yeah. So I think
And I think you would have
almost.
gotten Golden Boot with that.
I think he got it regardless,
uh,
actually.
No,
did
they
Yeah.
had
it?
to share. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there
Oh,
was
is
like
it?
three of
So,
them.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, even that he was a bit part player at the start of the tournament, and then he finished top goal
Yeah,
scorer. Maybe it's maybe that's just looking at how poor the overall number of goals were, and there were no
yeah,
strikers that actually like stuck a claim to that. But I would say almost my guy.
yeah. I'm gonna echo you over there, and like you said, like he came in when Spain needed somebody to like fill that
Mm,
void that Pedri left, and I myself I thought that like Marino was going to come in and he was going to play a bit of an advanced role, but it ended up being Olmo, and he just hit the ground running, and it didn't even
mm,
look like he was a backup player.
Yeah,
mm,
Then that goes back to what you said, Jason, about the
yeah,
way Spain is, like the way they coach, the way their system is, and it just like no matter who you bring off the bench, they look like they would be a
yeah,
starter in that team because
yeah,
their chemistry is amazing. But
mm.
I'm just gonna go back to yesterday, and we speak about clutch moments. That header off the line
yeah,
with about a minute and 20 seconds left to play,
yeah,
that that for me that was as good as a goal. That was an amazing moment, and you could see how much it meant to him as well. The dude
Yeah.
was celebrating like he won the cup already. So I mean, it's clutch moments like that makes the player. And yeah, I loved watching him play. I loved the way he progressed throughout the tournament. And
Mm.
even though I don't think uh he's as good at on a club level. I feel like he is in the same sort of bracket as that Mexican goalkeeper Ochoa is
Ochoa, yeah,
Ochoa, yeah, the
uh,
guy who always
um,
sporting.
the international
Oh,
tournament specialist, and I feel like Danny
Shaqiri as
Olmo
well.
will,
Yeah,
uh,
Shaqiri is
yeah,
international.
Shakiri as well. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like I've seen Olmo play like club football, and I mean he's nowhere close
Not
to
it.
the guy that he is. Well,
Mm,
Yeah.
when he's wearing a Spain jersey.
yeah.
But yeah, you guys have anything else to add before we do a quick transfer wrap up?
No, but to your point, Eve, like talk about clutch moments. How did Declan Rice actually not score with that free header? Like, if you're honest, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
seriously, you
Oh,
should have put that in the back of the net and taken it to extra time.
They, they, they
I
had
think
they had a lot of
he
players
needs
on
to
the
have a
line,
look.
so I'll give him
yeah,
that. There were a lot of Spanish defenders on the line for that. So
Yeah, no, I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't really put it down to how did Declan Rice miss. I would put it down to Spain were set up well enough to ensure that
yeah.
um,
It was
the
just
the
like a, yeah.
players would
But
clear the ball off the line.
No,
it,
but he could have
but
headed
it
that
also
down, guys. He could have bounced that ball in, and he would have scored
was there
100%.
space for it to go through though? Because
Yeah,
like I was saying, there were lots of bodies. So would
Yeah.
it have
yeah. I think he
maybe
Oh,
could have
oh,
headed it
maybe
down.
I'm
He could have headed it. He
remembering
could have headed
different.
it that way. I just think it was actually
so
a poor
like
header.
from
Agreed.
what I could
Almost off the line.
remember, yeah,
Yeah.
from what I could remember, it was Una Simon, and then
Mm,
Almo was right next to him, and there was somebody next to Almo as well, and then there was
yeah,
one person on the other side of Simon. So they
Yeah,
basically
there's
had like four
one.
people.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I was
also
like,
if you if you watch it back, and I think he broke into the space nicely, but it
Yeah,
almost looked like I think there was somebody that had just came over, so he was just guiding the ball. So
yeah,
But I mean, they
both.
sacrificed a defender
Yeah,
in the box to have someone on the line.
yeah.
yeah,
So, I totally agree. Like that's, I don't know, either suicidal or
yeah,
great defense. But I don't
I
know.
mean,
I feel like you should have done more.
yeah.
it, I mean,
You
it
almost
pays
need a
off in
bit of
the
luck
end.
there, man. Yeah, yeah. You almost need
Yeah,
a bit of luck there to sacrifice them. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
could have been different. Could have been almost goalless, so that could have taken it completely out.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was terrible.
there's
Yeah,
a
it
whole
was
lot
also
of
like a
there's a whole lot of
snapshot.
stuff.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that is all for our Euro segment. We will continue that in 4 years' time. Uh, just
It'll
before
probably be Italy
we
again.
wrap up, just before we wrap up with the transfer stuff, it's not the end of international football. The Olympics starts next week, and the the football part of the Olympics starts on Wednesday. So
When's it
Wednesday,
out?
the
I,
24th.
I highly
Oh,
doubt that it's going to be first team players because majority of the players either went to the Euros or they went to Copa
yeah.
America. So I
Mm.
doubt clubs will be releasing the star players for the Olympics.
But
Highly doubt it.
Jesus Navas will be there, guys. He's
Mm,
gotta be. That man has grandkids
He's
already,
he's not
yeah.
there.
and
I
he's
checked
still
the
playing.
Spain squad already. There's
He's
no
not
Jesus
there.
Navas. Nope.
Then I'm not watching. I'm totally not watching. I was only gonna watch for Jesus Navas and his
Guys,
55-year-old body.
you, you must be careful
Um,
though, man. He's pushing the limits of how much that bones can hold up. He's like
he's.
the
I think he's
skeletal
done now.
system is only
He
so
won.
strong.
I think he's just like he won his trophy now with Spain again.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
he's
again.
he was there for the last trophy 10 years ago. He ushered in the new era with another trophy. So he's like,
Nah,
now my work here is done.
there's,
I'm gonna call it a day at the end of this, and yeah, you guys
Eh,
can carry on.
Nah, nah. In 4 years'
But
time,
yeah,
he's gonna have a grandchild who's also gonna play for Spain in the Euros. So I'm sure he'll be there, like LeBron style, but outdoing LeBron.
without nepotism. Uh,
Mm,
oh
a little,
yeah,
a little.
no such thing. No
yes.
such.
Jason, do you have a transfer for us? Your favorite transfer or your biggest transfer of this window thus far?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I think Villa are signing Amadou Onana from Everton. And I think
Mm,
he's a player that I wanted at Arsenal. I think he'd benefit or he'd make a lot of teams better. And I think Villa signing them signals their intent to push on from the season that they had last season.
mm.
Being an Arsenal fan, I know Unai Emery, and I'm not holding to high hopes for them, unfortunately. But I think it's a good signing. I think it bolsters up that midfield, and yeah, I think it'll give them a lot, which is what they're going to need, having to hopefully not a season like Newcastle had last season in the Champions League. If they get one of those shocking groups, maybe they can actually make it out because Unai is a European specialist. So we'll see.
European,
Mm.
Europa specialist.
Europa. He is in Europe. He is, yeah.
Nikita,
Yeah, we'll see.
transfer
Mm.
from you.
I mean, the transfer market is dead, guys. Like literally, the only people making transfers are clubs that have gotten point penalties in the last season. So it's a bit bizarre. My transfer so far, my most disappointing transfer of the season thus far is Arne Slot to Liverpool. Um,
Why is that
Famous last
disappointing?
words.
Come
Play,
on.
famous
yeah, the
last
man.
words. Playing it down again.
Nah, I'm just like I don't know this guy. He's like literally like rubbed me up the wrong way. I think announcing his signing before the club. The club's also been pretty muted about like hyping him up. Do you know that the since Klopp's that final weekend or that final week after Klopp left, the most like interactions on a Liverpool post has been when they announced a few days ago that Klopp is now an ambassador for the club or for the foundation. Like, that should kind of tell you, like everyone's a bit, I think, at least from a Liverpool perspective, is a bit underwhelmed. Yeah, and over and above that, I think we also like there's nothing about us in the news about transfers. And there was all this hype with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes coming and all this stuff. So it's a bit dead at the moment. And talking about Onana, like yes, so you look at that guy, and I'm like, he would be better than anyone we have, in our
You would
midfield.
literally turn your midfield into
Yeah.
something
You
promising.
know,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
exactly.
100%.
And I'm just like, and he wouldn't have even had to move house. So
Mm.
yeah, a bit disappointing to see things like that. Real, like kind of game changes, squad changes, move to a club. To your point, like Villa.
hmm.
And to your point, I mean, I admire Unai. I think he's done a fantastic job. Granted, the bar was very low after Stevie G left there, but I think he's probably a bit out of his depth. I don't think Champions League is going to suit him. I don't see Villa, recurring into a top 4 position again.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess we'll be talking about it. 15th of June, 2025. This time next year.
My transfer, and it's not going to be a player. I think Dan Ashworth at Man United is something that I think we've needed for a very long time. And
Oh,
the
Man
shame.
fact
is
that
reading
we
out of
have
his journal now.
Oh,
wait,
So happy,
poor
man.
little
wait,
rich
wait,
club.
wait.
Oh.
The fact that we actually made a signing before preseason starts, like I don't think we've done this in like 10 years. So
You're
that's actually
shocked.
quite a nice feeling that there's
Yeah.
actually a signing done, and they're actually trying to get more signings completed,
Mm.
and that actually like makes me a bit happy. Like my club
Oh,
is actually
okay.
acting like a proper footballing club.
Coming from an Arsenal fan, it's the hope that kills you. Okay, don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
Look
Don't
here.
think about
I
it.
don't appreciate this negativity, man. Like
I'm
I
sorry.
think
Somebody has to
I
keep
think
you where you
Yeah,
need to be.
humble. Mm,
I have
I
to
agree.
be the realist in your life. Okay.
Mm.
check here. We know that you are tied to Manchester United basically for the rest of your life. So
Marrying into the
this is
family.
something that
I
you're
don't know.
going to have to listen to for a very long time. Might as well get used to it, and yeah, just embrace it, man. Like you never know.
Yo,
Maybe you're gonna be
the
handing in
roller
that Gunners
coasters.
jacket for
Yeah.
a Red Devils jacket one day. I'll be
Ooh,
there to welcome you with open arms.
Jason, please,
Um,
please,
Look
please,
at Nikita
but
come
now.
right.
yeah, like in all seriousness, I think it's a good signing for the club. I think it shows that the new part owners are serious about what they want to achieve with the club. There's a lot of things going in the right direction with the stadium that's going to be revamped and the training facilities. Not that I agree at all about what they've done regarding the women's team. I
Sure.
I absolutely
Yeah.
hate the route that they took, and there's a
Mm,
reason why a lot of the women have left Man United. A lot of our key female players have left the club because
mm,
of how they've been treated.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that definitely needs so much more attention,
mm,
and more people need to be talking about it and speaking up about it in the media, because
yeah.
that's part of the reason why these big clubs think that they can get away with it, and that's because the spotlight isn't being shone on the women's teams.
Mm,
So I hope that's something that does change. But yeah, it's a really good direction for United with Dan Ashworth, Omar Berada, Jason Wilcox. We have sort of a spine in our footballing department now, and it's apparent because there's so many like tweets and media articles that's coming out about the things that Manchester United wants to do, and yeah, I can't be happier as a fan because the club is finally becoming relevant again.
yeah, but I think also like there's a couple of things like that left a bad taste in my mouth, if I'm honest, and that was the other like not furloughing of staff, but like that 189
Yeah,
email that he sent to everyone.
Mm.
Like that's really, I mean, I've worked for
yeah,
some big multinationals before, and that's not the way you conduct yourself with people. So,
yeah.
and we all know the issues with the Glazer were stone at the top. So, you can try and fix things on a football pitch, and I mean, Jason, you been there as well with like
Mm.
owners that are just shocking. I've definitely
Mm.
lived through my Americans as well, but that really was like still a bit of a red flag for me.
Mm.
But I agree, you guys are probably on the best trajectory that you've been on in a decade. But yeah, that's 11 years now, without the title. So only 9 more to go to get to my 20-year speculation.
I'm on
I'm just
I'm
going
on
to
20 now,
ignore
yeah.
that you said
So
that.
yeah. Oh.
Are you guys on 20 now?
Yeah, last season would have been perfect.
20?
The last one I
Yeah, it
won
should have
was
been the 20th anniversary last
2004.
season.
20,
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe it's 30 for you, Jason. Maybe 30 is the number. Speaking from experience, maybe 30 is the
Yo,
number.
that's upsetting. Don't say that.
but okay, I think we are going to wrap up. Thank you so much, Nikita. Thank you, Jason, as always, for popping by. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Tell everybody about Sportycast. We are on Spotify, TikTok, Threads, X, Twitter, Zwitter. I'm going to call it that. Um,
Mm.
Instagram, yeah, all at Sporticast, same handle. So yeah, keep on telling people about it. The more milestones we reach, the more giveaways we're going to be doing. So yeah, I mean, it's only going to benefit you guys to spread the word. Jason, where can the people find you on the socials?
Yo, yeah, so I'm at Jason underscore Ronnie, X, Instagram, TikTok, yeah, threads as well. Connect with me there. I'm still learning the ropes. I'm not as efficient as AF is, but I think if you guys can
Learning the
help me, I'll be
threads.
there. Yeah. I posted only my second thread 2 weeks ago, so I'm still learning.
Ah,
But yeah,
Yeah,
find me there.
it's booming for South Africans, eh? Threads
Yeah,
is the
ah,
place to be for South Africans.
is it? Is that
it's
so?
less toxic. Yeah, it's less toxic than Twitter at the moment, so it's good.
Which is
That is
also
correct.
owned by a South African. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Nikita, where can people find you?
Unfortunately, only on Twitter,
Hmm.
which I refuse to call it later because it's always going to be Twitter in my mind. Please find me at Kita ____. Okay. Always keen to get involved and get stuck in and get into a debate. And my sporting enthusiasm does not end at football. So please, especially with the Olympics coming up, I will be very much into badminton and archery, and of course, men's diving.
100%.
I am at AF Parker 642 on all social media platforms. Like Nikita said, Olympics is coming up, so I will probably be tweeting about quite a few sports over there, and yeah, just tweeting happy things about Manchester United and all of their transfer targets that's apparently going to be coming out. And yeah, if you want to come speak to me about it or just congratulate me as a Spain supporter, then please do. I will be taking all congratulatory messages. But yeah, I'm AF 4343. This is episode 75. Peace.